right, Nick. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you been?
I've been playing a lot of tennis, but then yesterday, I got injured on the knees, so I had to stop for a while, I think.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that. And I think that's why it's important that we show our viewers what you can do to get over it. Now, you've already done some things in the last 24 hours that have helped a lot. What have you done?
Um, I put some ice on the knees.
Okay.
Yesterday I did twice, and this morning I did like 3 times. I put it on a um, a plastic bag, and then I use uh the string, and I just bring it up right on my knees, and I just sit there and elevate my legs,
Good. Yeah,
and then
that's
until
exactly what you can do.
the ice melt, and then I'll just change it. But it's helped a lot.
Yeah. So if anyone has swelling in their knee or any body part is definitely want to ice it, take time off, and then figure out why that's happening, right? So
Yes.
knees swell up and they can get injured for different reasons, but I'm going to go over like the low-hanging fruit that you should do that I do to
Hmm.
keep my knees strong. So I'm a little taller and longer than you, so knees are
Yeah.
a little bit more taxing. So I've had knee injuries in the past, and I feel way better as I've gotten older with my routine that I do. So I'd love to
Hmm.
show you and the viewers that. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to get into the knee stuff. And remind me, Nick, let's talk about like the next week. This is going to be our last Zoom for the for everybody to see because I think we're doing great, but I want to kind of end with like the goal of losing weight too, of like feeling fit and all that too. So yeah, injuries happen. So we're going to talk about that, but let's end on that too,
Hmm.
so that you have a good way of like continuing this for years and years, right? Like we don't want to
Yeah.
stop this. Okay. This is a
Hmm.
whole new Nick. All right.
Yes.
All right. So can you see my screen here? Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what we want to do here is so this is on I have a recording on my platform of the knee webinar, and I also have this in my platform for strengthening the knees. I have a whole new video series that can tell you all about it. So I'm not going to go through it. Actually, that's not in there, but I think it is, well, it's definitely in this program. So this is where you can do a new knee protection. If you go to the strength training part, so you go
Hmm.
to the courses here, and when you go to the courses, you will see a fitness course. And when you go to the fitness course, it's divided up, not into just, fitness in terms of strength training and all that, but also shoulder mobility and all those kind of things. So you can see no knee mobility here. And then there's some stretching and then shoulder stuff too. So this is all like trying to make sure you stay injury free. I think that's more important than anything before you can go hard with speed training and strength training. Okay. So I definitely want to
Okay.
check that out. But I want to help you out right now. So I made a little webinar and I'm just going to kind of go through some exercises that are really good for knees. Okay. So the whole idea for the knee is tennis especially is a very quad dominant sport. So you're kind of in a crouched position, a slight squat position. And when you're in that position, you are constantly engaging the quads. So it's
Okay.
really hard to have knee balance, like strength balance around the knees if you're constantly just using the quads. So it's really important to strengthen the back of your legs as well. So the glutes and hamstrings are usually weak in tennis players. So that's where we want to really fixate our attention on. And you can isolate them with some exercises. So you can see right here, I have a balance ball and I'm looking to do a glute bridge. So here we are. I'm going to play this for just a moment so you can kind of see what one of these are. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get my leg at a 90 degrees, and I'm just going to push up through my heel and lift my body up. I'm trying to make the line of my torso and my quads to be lined up here. And then I'm going to go back down. So I'm trying to hold that position for just a little bit and then back down. Now, if that's a little hard, you can put your feet on a table. So I could slide over here and I could use a bench or something like that, or a chair, kind of set a table, maybe not a table, that's a little too high, but something like this. And again, I'm raising up, okay? So that's one thing. Now, if it's a little too easy though, there's a way to make it harder, okay? So I'm in this position, I'm gonna lift the leg up and go up. So holding that.
So this is all glutes. So you'll feel this in the back of your leg. And it's good and then you can I like the one-legged part because it really shows you if you have weakness in one leg versus the other, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a problem too. So you might have a knee injury because that knee is super strong, actually. Like, for example, it's like it's being overused because your other leg is weak. That could happen. Or it could happen where your knee got hurt because it is in fact weak. But the main idea is if you don't have balance in both legs, then that could happen. Okay. So that's called a glute bridge. All right. And that's something I definitely want you to try out. Okay. Now the next one here is for the hamstrings. I'm going to kind of fast forward here a little bit. We're going to get into the hamstring one. Here you go.
Work your glutes, which are really important. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is work on the hamstrings. Now the hamstrings, I feel, are the most important protector of your knee. So we're going to work them in a couple ways. So the first one is the hamstring curl. We're going to go up and then we're going to bring the ball away, bring it forward. The whole idea is I'm pushing down with my heel as I'm doing this. Okay. If this is too easy, lift a leg up and go. I'm really isolating.
Okay. So that was one of them using the ball. This one that I'm about to show you is going to be a little bit more challenging with what you have set up, but you can do this. You can buy these. I think they're called like Nordic Track or something like that on Amazon or whatever, and you can place it under your doorway. And it's like it's like allows you to get in a kneeling position and really isolate the hamstrings. This is probably the best exercise you could do for your knees, I think. So you can see this is the same. So don't think you have to have the same setup I have. You can buy one of these where they slide under the door and you can fit your knees under them. And then you just put a pad under your knees there too. And then you can just do the same setup. But I want to show you
my hamstrings by getting my knees on a pad, and behind me, I have a bar. And the bar is going to hold my calves, push on my calves. And when I go down, I'm going to try to lift myself up. Okay. It's not easy to do.
Wow.
So I have a band to help me. Okay. So the idea is I'm going to try, and I'll give you a different angle of this in a second, but I'm going to try to keep everything still as I do this. Okay. So I'm going to be going straight down, keep everything as still as I can. Okay. Now, if I can go further down, great. But I don't want to bend my back and hunch over as I do this because.
Okay. So that's where you want to be as straight as possible, and the band can help go up. But this is like a little curl, for your legs to fit under that you can buy, by the way. So don't feel like you have to get this, but this will really help with the hamstrings. Okay. Glutes and hamstrings, right? So let me give you a couple more ideas here. So this one is where I'm going to be I have a weight on my ankle, and I'm going to lean and do some curls with the hamstring. This isolates the hamstring. So I'm just kind of fast forwarding and getting you an idea of these. Okay. So here's another one for your hamstrings.
And down and try to get your leg parallel to your torso. And then all I'm going to be doing is doing hamstring curls like this.
Now, if you can also put a band around your ankle and have it anchored somewhere farther away. And you could also do it that way. You don't have to get a weight on your ankle. You could just use a band for resistance as well. You might not even need a band at first because this is hard at first. I have a feeling your hamstrings are pretty weak. And that's why your quads are just working overtime, and that's where you're going to get hurt. Okay. So that's an
Yes,
easy one
yes,
to do, but you could literally put a band here and just tie it to something and then, use that. Okay. So those are
yes,
hamstring curls. Okay. So another one, just another idea. So you can look at this video again, but I want you to have some ideas of like a routine that you'd like to do. You don't have to do all of them,
yes.
kind of pick the ones you like, but this is a low hanging fruit one. You don't really need any equipment for this one either. So this is just a side lunge kind of thing here. Here you go.
Having a wide stance. And all I'm going to do is pretend the ceiling's really low and I'm going to lean to one side. As I lean to the side, my toe goes in that direction and I'm trying to sink down. I'm squeezing my hamstring really high. My toe on the other side is pointing straight ahead. And then I'm going to slide to the other. My toe goes to the side I'm putting my weight on. And then my other foot again is pointing that way. So notice that I'm straight up.
So this is where you want to be in this position, squeezing your hamstring really, really tight for about 5 seconds, and then you slide to the other side. And you just keep
Yep.
sliding back, slide one side, one the other, but you're staying low the whole time as you're doing this. Okay, so I'll let it go for a few more.
Down. I could have a pole to help me with this if I need to, because this position isn't easy to sink down. A lot of people will bend forward and they're not able to hold this position. So to see a different angle, you can see me going here and I'm leaning. Notice I'm not leaning forward too much. I'm trying to stay aligned, squeezing the hamstrings, holding for about 3 seconds or so and going back and forth.
So that's a position that you want to do to keep those knees going. Okay. Now,
Okay.
about shuffles, that's more of the hip stuff. So I mean, I guess I can show you, but these are pretty low hanging fruit too. Like hip strength is definitely important for knee mobility as well. So you could do something like this.
A ready position, like in tennis, right? And I'm just shuffling back and forth, squeezing my butt, keeping my ankle or my toes facing forward. And I'm not tilting. Notice that I'm not trying to tilt as I go. Okay. I'm trying to keep my foot parallel to the ground as I slide. I'm not lifting and tilting. Okay. So I'm staying down, doing this back and forth.
Okay, so the other thing about that too is this is for external rotation of your hip. So if you wanted to, you can look this up. I have some videos on my platform for internal rotation as well. So the inside of your leg might need more strengthening than the outside part of your hip, So this is a movement that tennis players do a lot of already. So you might already be strong in that spot. So if you want to work on that inside part a little bit more, here's what you do. Here you go.
Plank. And I'm going to hold this position. You're going to feel a lot of
So this is going to help you stabilize. This is going to work on stabilizing your hips and really strengthen the muscles around your knee and
Mhm.
also your stomach, and just having a band on your foot. You'll see what I mean in a second. But this is a really good one to do.
pressure, a lot of like intensity here because it's working really hard. Now you can use two hands to help you a little bit more, but this is the position you want to strive for. And then we're going to go forward with our knee. So I have a band giving me tension here, and I'm just going right straight forward as I work this out.
Okay, so that's a
Oh,
really good exercise as well. Okay, the side plank.
yes,
So that hopefully makes sense of like, okay, hamstrings, glutes, right? And we have your
yes.
workout of that, right? Like we're adding knee rehab tab. We have a knee rehab tab now, and I want you to do two hamstring exercises, two glute, and then one knee over toe. So what I mean by knees over toes is this. So knees over toes is something that I think everyone should do. Let me give you a couple
Getting
examples.
your knee in a
Okay.
position.
So the whole idea is you're trying to get yourself in a position where, like, if I serve, notice my knee goes past my toe, right? Like it's going in
Yep,
that direction when you bend your knees, right? If you're going to go sprints for a tennis ball, your knee pops forward. So you need to get used to being in that position and strengthening that position. That's the whole premise here. Okay.
My knee. My knees go forward as I bend, right? So this position needs to get strong. I can't just do it during tennis and expect my knees to be able to handle that pressure.
So that's the idea. So what do you do? So let me show you.
I'm going to use some weights here, and I'm just going to raise my heel here. And all I'm going to do is get my knee to go past my toes as I do a squat. You can hold this position if you'd like. And then I'm just going to go back up and again down. Now, when you're feeling pretty strong with that, you can take some pads here and just jet your knees forward and land on the pads, and then try to work your way back up. So this is actually really good because I'm going to work my quads here, and then as I go up, I'm working my glutes and hamstrings. Okay, so I'm going to take this band. I'm going to hold it as I go down to give myself some assistance, feel a little stronger.
So you can use a band too for this exercise as well. But the whole idea is putting yourself in a knee over toes position. Now, if it's any pain, don't do it, right?
A little more support, and then back up. Put my heel up. Okay.
So you could do forward squats, right? But you could also do lunges as well. So knees over toe lunges with weight or without weight. Obviously, you want to strive for weight, but here's what it looks like. You just elevate your heel.
Just like we did before. I'm going to have my foot back, and I'm going to lean my knee forward as I do this. Knee goes forward, back up. Knee is past the toes every time. So I'll put my leg up like this.
So this is more of a easier version. So again, you're elevating your heel, but you're putting it on a chair or a bench, and it makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. And I can even have something to hold myself, but the idea is I can do this in a little bit more controlled manner. This is a little easier for me. As I get better and better, I can lower the platform maybe to here, and eventually to the ground.
All right, and then this is reverse. You've done this with me, Nick, but
yeah, we did it.
Walks on a treadmill without making sure it's off. Okay. So let me put that again and get back to that spot, and I can pause it here. I kind of went too fast there. Sorry. So it's like if you were on a treadmill, like I bought a used treadmill because I never need it to actually work. I just need it to like it's not even turned on. I'm the one pushing it. But notice knees are past toes, and then I'm pushing forward with it. So that's a good one to do as well. So that's a good exercise. Okay. So basically, the routine would be, like I said, there are 2 or 3 hamstring and glute exercises, and then 1 knees past toes, maybe a squat and a lunge, or just do 1. It's up to you, but I would say bare minimum start like this. Okay.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
coach.
Good. And then you can check out the videos again if you need any questions on that. So now let's get back to your metrics, and we're kind of at a standstill. And I think this is important to tell people. You are here, and then this is where you were before. Remember, you had a standstill here too. You even gained weight once, right? So this is familiar, right? So people are going to go into this where you're not going to gain any, or sorry, you're not going to lose any weight. So it's really important to kind of assess, honestly, your goals and how you're living. So basically, what I mean by that is, are you living comfortably where, like, let's say you're right here at you were at 190 and you said, okay, I think the first thing you did was cut out sugar. And you did that, and you lost like 5 pounds, over 5 pounds. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you started gaining weight a little, and everything was kind of plateaued. So the next step for you was to lower your carbs, right? And the thing about that was, like, do you love carbs more than do you love losing weight? I mean, that's the main idea here. So if you feel like you are liking, like if you're at 180, let's say you're at 184, 83, something like that, and you're like, okay, I actually don't want to change my diet because I enjoy it and I'm okay with being 183. That's fine. But you weren't. So you cut down your carbs and you got down to 170. Now, and then we're plateauing a little, once a little gain, not too much. You're kind of like maintaining, I guess, right? Nothing changes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
then the next step is, okay, if you're comfortable with this weight, you're okay, like you feel like you're maintaining a diet that you can maintain, and you're like, okay, I'm comfortable. I don't want to go any further because I feel like that will make things too uncomfortable and it's not worth the goal. But if you have a goal that is really, really, really important to you, then it will surpass I don't want to call it the pain, but the discomfort of changing your diet even more.
Okay.
From our previous conversations, it sounds like you are really wanting to lower your weight a little more, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like an extra 10 pounds.
Yep. Good. Okay. So what we need to do is try for 1 week to be more disciplined with our calories. And also, I'm going to just throw in like more of the processed oils. So when I say processed oils, it's because when the only place you can get processed oils, like like seed oil in general is really, it's usually a sign of processed foods. So if you go to like In-N-Out Burger or some fast food restaurant and you don't even eat the buns, for example, but you eat the burger, right?
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
still loaded with processed oils that are not going to be very helpful for your metabolism and for you to lose any weight. They're not healthy fats. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's where you might eat protein and no carbs and go, well, what's the problem? I should be losing more weight. The problem really is the processed version of the meat is just so bad. So look for seed oils in the ingredients. Now, I know you can't look them up at restaurants, but I can guarantee you, if you eat out, you are
Hmm.
the 99% of restaurants are going to have like it tastes good for a reason. They're going to load up with oils and fats and and salts and things that really taste good, but they're not going to be that good for you. So that's where I would really encourage you to eat at home more often and not to make
Okay.
dinner be at a restaurant because it's really hard to lose weight when you are constantly eating out. It's just very difficult.
Got it.
Okay. So let's
Yeah.
just give it a week of disciplined eating at home, no seed oils, and let's just see what that turns into and see how, and then we can go, okay, are you losing weight or not, first of all, right? And let's just say you are. If you're losing weight, then we then ask, okay, is the diet you're eating sustainable? Like, are you happy with how you're eating? And then we can, go from there. Now, if you're not losing weight, then we have a different plan of action, right? But right now, let's just see if the diet is doing its job, and then we can now change that word diet to like, hey, this is the way I live now. And would you be good with it? And the last thing, Nick, is if you can start looking at food as fuel and the next day, I
Hmm.
think, like having foresight with your food, I think will help you out a lot. Like, say you're going to you want to train a lot tomorrow. Well, you need really good food in you to perform at the best of your ability. You work out really hard. You need fuel to resupply your body to recover as fast as possible. So that's where the quality of food is important. And then
Okay.
understanding like when I eat when I'm not hungry is not doing anything for me other than maybe helping me be less bored or filling some sort of itch that I have. But it's not for performance, it's not to fuel my body.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I noticed that uh the the last week when I I try to hit with a friend. I fast the one day before, and then the next day I came in the morning. I didn't have anything. Kind of hungry, but I was late, so just ran and just had some water. I got on cold, and I felt like kind of dizzy, and
Yeah.
it's a bad choice. I think I should have some food before I play tennis
Yeah, I agree. I think
instead of
it's
like
different.
full empty stomachs and
Yep.
nothing. I feel so lazy on court, and very, very like dizzy. I don't want to do anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's boring tennis.
Yeah, and I think that will change more and more the more you train your body to fast a little bit, though. Like I encourage you to fast, but maybe like you have dinner at 7 or 8 p.m. and you go play tennis at 9 a.m. the next day. I think that's good for you not to eat during and see how you do. Uh, I
Hmm.
I have no issues with that personally, but it wasn't like it took a while, and you need to learn to like your body needs to learn to get its energy from other places than glucose. Like that's the problem where like, well, I shouldn't say glucose, but the low hanging sugar. Like you can it needs energy where the body needs energy. Where can it get it? And it's like, oh, I want to get it from the food you just ate. And if you don't eat, then it's like crap. What do I do now?
Hmm.
And you need to start training your body, be like, well, sink or swim, buddy. Like you're gonna have to figure this out. And your body goes, oh, okay, I can get this from fat. I can get this from ketones. I can get this, from different sources, but it's not easy for the body to do it. So it doesn't want to do it. That's why it's like telling you, hey, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So the more you can train your body to start doing that more often, and
Hmm.
obviously, if you're getting dizzy and you're listening, I mean, you're going to eat, of course. I'm not saying do anything unhealthy, but I'm just saying don't deviate from that. Like trying to, I know that that might have been too long of a fast for you. It might have been maybe a 24-hour fast, and that's way too long. But, try like a 12-hour and see how that goes. And maybe even doing like a run or something in the morning on an empty stomach and just seeing how well you can sustain that energy. It'll get better and better the more your body gets used to that, though. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Sounds
really
good.
needs to train with the what you have in it already, like fats. Basically, that's another good way to lose weight. Your body's like, all right, I need to use this fat for energy because I don't have anything else to use. But it's not going to use
Hmm.
that fat if it constantly is getting food to supply itself. Right.
I
So
see.
that's where you
Yeah.
got to be like, are you hungry or are you thirsty? Obviously dizziness is a sign that you're hungry, you need to eat, right? Like low blood sugar. But I'm just saying like stick with it, okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think we have a
All right.
plan now.
Yeah.
Everything's on the metrics for you for the next week. And then we're just going to be more disciplined with our food and just see what that looks like. Try not to eat out. Ice the
Hmm.
knee, try some hamstring and glute exercises, and then we'll get on the court this week, maybe give it a couple more days, and then I'll be ready to rock with you, okay?
Me too, coach. Can't wait to get on coach.
I know. That's why this stuff has to happen more. I do knee rehab twice a week, even though I don't
Okay.
have knee injuries, because I don't want them.
Yes.
That's where
You
I
don't.
encourage, yeah, the viewers that are watching this. I'm like, hey guys, you definitely need to start thinking, hey, if you don't want something, like I don't want a shoulder injury or something. Okay, well then do shoulder rehab so that you never have to go through it, right? That's the idea.
True.
Don't do it after the injury. So I think
Hmm.
you had a mild injury, so that kind of woke you up, I think, to get you in the right mind space for future workouts and stuff. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Sounds good.
All right, Nick, it's good seeing you, and let's be in touch
Me
soon.
too. All right, coach. Good to see you.
Good to see
Bye.
you. Bye.